Avocado fruit drop. Why? When? How many? I'm inside a Hass avocado tree and it's July 22nd. You'll find a few pieces of fruit like this dropping to the ground, and then sometimes you find them just dying and drying up on the tree. So why does that happen? Sometimes it's just because the tree has set more fruit than it can hold, and so it's naturally thinning its load and reducing the crop to what it can more easily hold until maturity. Most of this fruit drop happens when the fruitlets are very small in like May or June. But even here in July, you still get a little bit of fruit drop. This is a branch that I tagged on June 13th, and it had 8 pieces of small fruit on it. And then I counted again on July 2nd, and it only had 4. Here it is 20 days later on July 22nd, and there are only 2 left. They're, smaller than a golf ball, about the size of a walnut. This is about the last period of fruit drop on Hass avocados. I always think of August as being the time when you can actually start to count your crop for Hass. But not all varieties are the same, and some varieties flower later than Hass. Here's a pair of later blooming varieties. That's a reed on the left and a lamb on the right. You'll find that reeds especially will continue to drop some fruit even through August. So if you want to count your reed crop, I'd push it more like September, when you can count the crop that'll hold to maturity on a late blooming variety like that. We're looking at the lamb tree now, and just how many fruit proportionally can you expect to drop compared to the initial set? I tagged this branch on the lamb, and if you can see, on June 13th it had 43 small fruitlets. Then on July 2nd, only 7. So a whole lot had dropped. It's now July 22nd again, and there are only 5 remaining on this branch. So that's from 43 down to 5. I would expect even 1 or 2 to still drop on that. So from 43 down to maybe 3 or 4. That's not the same proportionally for every tree. Now this is a Pinkerton tree, and you'll see that a lot depends on how much the initial fruit set is, how heavy that initial fruit set is. This tree, now there's a lot of fruit right here, but it's all clustered in one area of the tree. The overall tree doesn't have all that much fruit, and so there was very little fruit drop on the set, and the reason for that is even though it's heavy and clustered, it's not throughout the tree, so it doesn't have a giant overall crop. Let me show you a tagged branch. So this branch on the Pinkerton on June 13th had 4. On July 2nd still had 4, and here on July 22nd a cluster of 4 remain. But another potential reason for the retention of this fruit on the Pinkerton is that it had a lot of cross-pollination opportunities with a neighboring Edinger tree. This little tree was full of flowers, and I watched bees all day long crossing between the two. So it has been shown in studies that, most studies I should say, show that fruit that is cross-pollinated often holds to maturity better. Let's go back inside the house. So I said that you can still expect some fruit drop on Hass in July and even into the beginning of August, but by late August you should be able to count your crop. By late September you should be able to count your crop on the reed, a little bit earlier on the lamb. So what if you do get fruit drop, say in late August on Hass, late September on lamb, reed? Well, that indicates that your tree isn't healthy or it's stressed. So you've got to make sure that it's watered well during any heat waves, and it's got, ample soil fertility. But do be careful to over fertilize, because fertilizing too heavily has shown to cause fruit drop as well. So best of luck. Let's hope we carry it all through the summer and the winter to harvest.